Ford just released some of the worst news they could have ever released for their owners. And Ram and GM are asleep at the wheel. Talk about asleep. I mean, I didn't own a car company because I would just kill, just saying. Now, if you haven't heard, Ford just issued a recall just a few days ago. And it's probably one of the most insane recalls I've seen in a long time. If this happened under my watch, I would resign, personally. I mean, Ford is known for being the most recalled brand in automotive history probably at this point. But this type of recall should never happen. Now, I'm gonna read an article to you guys. I saw it a few days ago. I didn't have time to really do a video on it, but today I have to talk about it because I was waiting to see what Ram and GM did, and they're just asleep at the wheel. They really are. You guys can hire me for marketing and just really showing you guys how to do things, because this is a perfect time to attack. And I'm just being honest here. It's the perfect time to attack. Let's read this article really quickly. I'm on caranddriver.com and look at the headline. This headline should have woken someone up at the other manufacturers. Ford recalls Super Duty pickups, issues do not drive warning for brakes that can suddenly fail. Ford is telling business owners, people who make a living with their truck, do not drive it. That's what they just said. Everyone is asleep at the wheel right now, just saying. It says down below, brake failure is a terrifying prospect in any vehicle, but it's even more terrifying when you're dealing with a heavy-duty pickup truck that can weigh north of 4 tons and tow twice that much to boot. But those are exactly the circumstances that have led Ford to recall thousands of examples of 2025 model year Super Duty pickup trucks, going so far as to issue a do not drive warning for the vehicles, according to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. The recall officially submitted to NHTSA on June 13th covers 2,345 vehicles spanning the gamut of F-250, F-350, F-450, and F-550 Super Duty models, all built between March 19 and May 4th of this year. The issue lies with the brake booster push rod's retaining spring, or rather, the lack thereof. As Ford says, the affected vehicles were built without the component. As a result, the brake booster push rod can separate from the brake pedal, leading to an unexpected loss of braking ability. And as NHTSA's filing puts it, a sudden loss of brake function increases the risk of a crash. I know that GM has a lot of inventory sitting on the lots right now. Ram still has some 2024 trucks sitting on their lots. You don't think that they would offer a conquest bonus once they saw that headline that Ford truck owners cannot drive their trucks, or they should not drive their trucks, in the event that their truck loses its brakes? Now granted, it's not a lot of trucks affected, but Ford sells a lot of trucks, right? And I mean, 2,300 of them were built between the time frame and that article. So regardless of that, you would think that GM, Ram, especially Ram right now, right? Ram is, their trucks are selling, I would say, for the most part, but they could really capture some extra business if they added a $1,500 conquest bonus cash on their trucks for these 2025 Ford Super Duties. Because if you cannot drive your truck, that's a problem. Like, I would probably trade my truck in, because who knows when this is going to get fixed. Now, obviously, it's probably an easy fix for the most part, but again, regardless, they are asleep at the wheel. Now, let's talk about these brakes on these trucks. I just got done installing all my bank stuff on my truck, just the cold air intake, and look at this small filter. I can't wait for you guys to see the video. I did a really detailed install video. So if you own a GMC or a Ford or Ram, I do give a discount code for Banks products in the description below. Now, GM HDs and Ford Super Duties have electronic parking brakes. Ram has not gone to this, but I'm pretty sure they're going to go to it in the future. I'm not a big fan of electronic parking brakes because when you panic, if you lost all brakes up front, you don't know to look for that button. I'm just being honest here. And if you're towing a heavy load, I just think that the mechanical one is just better. This is an older car. This is a 2013 Lexus. And check this out. Down below, you guys will see right here, it has your parking brake or emergency parking brake, whatever you want to call it. Emergency brake, parking brake, it's mechanical. It works. And if you were on the highway and you're coming to a stop with your brakes, you're starting and you don't have brakes, oh gosh, what do I do next? You just slightly apply pressure like this until the car comes to a stop. If you have electronic parking brake, I'm willing to bet you everyone's going to be looking for that mechanical brake. All the while, all you have to do is push the button here, right? All you got to do is just push this button and it will actually gradually apply the brakes. Now, if you're hooked up to a trailer and you're plugged in correctly with the trailer brake, pushing that button and holding it will gradually apply the brakes for the trailer too. So all is not lost, but like I said, the mechanical way to go is the better way to go personally. I think that for these big trucks, just like you just saw, Ford is basically telling you not to drive your truck now if you lose all brakes. This just adds to the fear of if you do lose brakes. And I'm just doing this video for anyone out there that has to drive their truck, right? I'm pretty sure those guys are not going to stop driving their truck. And most of them probably don't know about this recall unless they get something in the mail, and I'm sure they haven't sent anything out that fast. But yeah, when you have to stop your truck, you have to hold the brake here. It's electronic parking brake, and it will gradually stop the truck. So just keep that in mind. These recalls do have to stop. They're all pretty bad, but Ford definitely is king of the recalls. Like every time I look, they're recalling something. And I get it. They sell a lot of cars. They build a lot of cars. It's inevitable sometimes. Nothing's perfect, right? Nothing's perfect. But when it comes down to brakes, you would think that that would be the most important aspect of a car, because stopping is a lot more important than going. Just saying, you know, especially a 8,000 pound truck, 10, 12, 13,000 pound gross vehicle rated truck, right? I mean, if a F550 is included in this, I mean, those trucks can weigh 12,000 pounds, you know, on the curb without a trailer. So yeah, I think that the manufacturers need to do a better job. Could you imagine if the government actually did something where if a car has more than 2 recalls, the customer has the option to make the manufacturer buy it back? How much you want to bet that these cars would get reliable overnight? Like, you wouldn't see these problems, right? And it's interesting how it's just for 2025 pickups. I mean, what fell through the cracks? Like, how did that even happen? I'm pretty sure it was a supplier of parts that probably forgot to put the was it a spring or something like that in the brakes or something like that for the brake booster. But these things shouldn't be happening. If a manufacturer has more than 1 or 2 recalls, a customer should have the right to sell that car back to the manufacturer without a loss. Just my opinion, because it is ridiculous how these manufacturers just issue recalls. When we had our Wagoneer, I mean, that was part of the reason why I got rid of it, because I want to say we had 4 or 5 recalls within just 8 months of ownership. And I was like, I was done. I was like, you know, every time I look, we have a recall. And then when we first purchased it, we had 2 issues with it. I mean, it was just constant issues. So I just said, you know what? I don't want this thing anymore. So I think that Ram and GM had a missed opportunity here. They literally were asleep at the wheel. If they would have issued a rebate for Conquest for Ford trucks, I bet you money people would have been trading them in, because again, it's just the principle sometimes. Sometimes, you know, everyone's allowed to make mistakes, but these are the type of mistakes you can't make. Brakes are important, and for someone to lose brakes on the road, and of course they have these electronic parking brakes, I just think that this is a huge fail on Ford's part and a missed opportunity for Ram and GM.